What's good, y'all? Haven't seen y'all in a minute. We here to do Constantine. I'm fucking hyped. Let's go. Alright. So, John Constantine, my boy. John fucking Constantine. This nigga's like my second favorite fictional character ever. Number one is Peter Parker, of course, but we'll talk about him another day. Right now, we talking about John fucking Constantine. Nigga got his own TV show. He's on NBC, doing well for himself. And honestly, should you be watching Constantine? Why the fuck you asking me? The hell yeah, you should be watching. Why the fuck aren't you watching Constantine? If you're not watching Constantine, what the fuck's wrong with you? Something is seriously you like, nigga. You got brain damage, my nigga. Why are you not watching Constantine? Best show ever. Like I'm looking at the ratings on Wikipedia for Constantine, and they average like fucking 3 million episode over Arrow, who's 3 seasons deep, my nigga. And Arrow's averaging barely 2 mil. Like some episodes will get like 2.5, sometimes 2.3. You know, Arrow be most of the time it's like 2 million. But John Constantine, the first episode 4 mil. Okay, significant drop to like 3.04, and but it's climbing back up. The last episode that just premiered sorry about that. Beer. Sorry about that again. And the episode that came out Friday, episode 5, I believe it was. That shit got 3.5 mil, 3.54. So it's steadily climbing back up. So Constantine, the numbers is showing that this shit is good. Honestly, it's the best acted out of the 4 superhero bunch right now. It's the best acted. To me, it nailed the character that it was portraying the best. Like, my nigga, this is the most spot on John Constantine that I could have. My only wish is that I wish he smoked more, but you know, I don't want to fucking fuck up Matt Ryan's lungs, and this nigga really might die from cancer, you know. But you know, he's perfect. He smokes. He wears the trench coat. He's an asshole. He's a cynical asshole. He looks like John Constantine. It's perfect. It's fucking perfect. It's perfect, dude. And like the first episode, I love the fact that they didn't really need to go all out comic book. As far as like how John Constantine looks comic book wise, they got that down pat. But as for the show's premise wise, they got a little creative with it. I ain't gonna front. They got a little creative with it. And somehow, some way, John Constantine was trying to stop something. I don't know how he sold this girl's soul to hell or Satan or Nurgle. I don't know how he did it, but somehow he fucked up and Nurgle claimed this little black girl's soul. And now, some recommended reading, by the way. Here's some fucking Hellblazer trades. This is like Hellblazer number 9. This shit just came out. It's fucking Hellblazer number 7. Right now, I mean, originally Hellblazer, the comic that, you know, this show is based off of, originally it had like 300 issues, and now they're reprinting them in these big ass 300-page trades. So you should go out and pick them up if you want to know something about fucking John Constantine, you know, do what you do. But the trade specifically that Nurgle, the demon in the show, shows up in is volume 3, trade number 3. So I'm not gonna even say, I don't even want to tell y'all what happens to Nurgle or John Constantine in that trade. I'm gonna just let y'all fucking find out because it's awesome as fuck. So moving on, in the first episode, something, not even just in the first episode, in this episode too, in Friday's episode 2, episode 5, something's going on with Chaz. I want to know what is good with that fucking healing factor. We're gonna talk about Chaz, and we're just fucking kick back, man. This is gonna take a while. We're gonna talk about a lot of shit. It's you and me, YouTube. It's you and me. I'm gonna be running my mouth, and you niggas gonna just be looking at your screen, nodding, word, yeah, nigga, shit. So apparently Chaz is like fucking Wolverine or something, because this nigga has a healing factor. You know, I mean, in the comics, he was just a regular dude. He was just John Constantine's best friend, who drove him around places and shit. And, you know, occasionally when John Constantine was being fucked up, you know, he could always go, yo, Chaz fucked up so many dudes in the comics. You know, my nigga, Chaz beat up niggas that had martial arts training. Chaz has no martial arts training by far. He's just a big ass dude. He's just a big ass, brolic ass dude that know how to throw their hands. You know? I don't know how he does it, but he be fucking niggas up. In the show, he be coming back to life and shit. Nigga be clinically dead. He be getting clinically killed, my nigga, and he be coming back to life. Something's up with that. Something's not right there. So I want to know what's up with that. And on top of that, I can't wait for like a flashback ep where, you know, how Chaz and John met. Chaz as a character hasn't done much in the show, and they really haven't focused much on Chaz. I want to know if that's on purpose, or you know, is the story of the episode, like, you know, so important that Chaz has to take a back seat. I don't know. But, you know, so far I have no issue with Chaz. I just want to know what the fuck. I just want to know what the fuck's up, you know. So no show is perfect. But let's talk about some of its flaws for a little bit. I believe that for this show, I believe like they thrust you into the middle of things, and you're not quite there yet, and it's like, whoa, but what, you know? And I like I like, for a person that doesn't read comics, you might be like, dude, what? Nurgle and hell and demons and Papa what? How does Papa Midnight and this dude know why can he come back? What? Like I feel like, you know, it's sometimes a bit much. And another thing, they have this rapid fire fucking dialogue sometimes that I feel like sometimes I have to rewind it because I download the episodes and, you know, my nigga, sue me. But like I have to rewind the shit because I miss some shit sometimes. Like, whoa, what he said that type quick. Because, you know, John Constantine, I expect to talk fast because he has that quick, witty banter thing going on. Everybody else in the show speaks fast as well. The only one that talks slow enough so you can comprehend what the fuck she's saying, you know, is Zed. Everybody else kind of talks fast, and Chaz, if he says much, he doesn't, you know, he talks kind of slow too. But everybody's like, I feel like they like, and they're talking about complex mystical spells and mystical items and shit, and they're explaining it to you in this type fast. It's like, bro, just slow down. Like, my nigga, I'm a little new. Let's slow down. Like, even a nigga who loves John Constantine and be reading the fucking comics, you be saying some shit like, whoa, I want to know what the fuck it is. I'm trying to understand. Shut up. But, you know, that's two of the flaws right there. So, like, just the fact that, you know, everything there's a lot of shit going on and they just kind of throw you in there. And the fast-paced dialogue. That's two things I kind of don't like. But I see those as more as nitpicky things, really. They don't really get in the way of me watching the show or enjoying it. So that's good. And so there we go. We talked about Chaz. Chaz hasn't really done much, so I can't really speak on Chaz that much. And Jim Corrigan as the Spectre. He really didn't do shit in episode 5. He didn't really do shit. He didn't do shit at all. He's supposed to be Spectre. Zed saw kind of like his aura, and he was like bleeding from the face, and he had this green spectral energy in the hood. I'm like, yeah, we get it. He's Spectre, okay? But it didn't leave much of an impression. He really didn't. I mean, he really didn't have much of a character. Honestly, he walked out of a bar drunk, and then, you know, he shot a ghost. That's pretty much it. You know, he didn't really have much of a character to begin with. You know, and I'm not talking about in the comics to begin with. I'm like just I don't know why I said that to begin with. Though. Just ignore that shit. I don't know what's going on with this character. I hope they have something good planned for him. I really do. Some of the artifacts I heard, there's the artifacts in that house. We got Dr. Fate's fucking helmet, which is insane. I can't imagine who is going to show up and claim that helmet. You know. And who knows? Maybe John might put the shit on. Who knows? And then you have Pandora's box. So Pandora might even show up on the fucking show, depending on if this show does good or not. Which it is. It's averaging 3 mil an ep. So the show might be around for a while. The only difference between this show and the other superhero shows is that I don't think this shit is gonna be rocking like a 23 episode season, you feel me? Gotham, Flash, Arrow, all those shows rock like 23 episode seasons. Constantine may do like 14, but from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of filler episodes. So maybe, just maybe, that we'll get like a 23 episode season, which is fine. I'll watch every goddamn episode. So, I'll watch every fucking episode. But the whole premise of the show is that there's this rising darkness. I don't know what the fuck that's even supposed to mean. Are they talking about the first of the Fallen? Are they talking about Nurgle? What the fuck are they talking about? Is this rising darkness? What's happening? What's happening? They start blaming things on the rising darkness when in actuality it really isn't. It's I don't know what's this rising darkness thing. It's weird. It's weird to say. I don't want to say it's a negative thing. It's kind of like poorly explained. Like this angel dude just shows up from time. These are rising darkness coming up. Peace. What? You can't just drop shit like that and just come on. And I don't. On top of that, I love how he's telling John Constantine, he's like, "Yo, you going to hell anyway, so why don't you just help us out, bro? You're not gonna be any better off even if you do help us, but help us." I'm like, my nigga, how is that a case to help you? You're not making a good case, Angel. Come on. And I love how they made the angel a black guy. I wonder what that was all about. Some guy in development, we gotta make the angel black. Black people are not in enough these days. Make the angel black. So I don't know what the fuck that shit was about. Speaking of black dudes, Papa fucking Midnight is awesome. He's in the show a lot more than I expected him to be. Honestly, this dude was in like 3 episodes. He was in the Acetate. I think he was in he was just in he was in 2 or 3. I can't remember, somewhere in that range. But we seen him early, and we've seen a lot of them too. We've seen him early and a lot of them. And there's a storyline I particularly want to see where his they even mentioned it in this episode, how Papa Midnight basically sacrificed his sister's soul so he can gain magical prowess or power, and like also sort of have like eyes in the underworld, eyes in hell. He can even send you to like a small space, a small little slice of hell. He could even trap your soul in it. So that's pretty interesting. But that particular storyline, it's in Hellblazer Trade number 8. And it's basically John Constantine in this little slice of hell, because John Constantine had fucked Papa Midnight over, and Papa Midnight got back at him by trapping John in this little slice of hell. Mentally, or I should say spiritually. One of the two. It's hard to really fucking tell. But physically, he's like a fucking zombie. He's like hallucinating and shit. And people in the real world is like, dude, he's a fucking junkie. Throw this guy in jail. And in the meantime, John is talking to like fucking JFK. JFK's in hell because, let's be honest, JFK was a crazy motherfucker. It's crazy. He is like the poster boy for adultery. So it's him, JFK, and fucking Papa Midnight's sister, and they're heading to the White House to like fight the first of the Fallen, which is pretty much the devil. I want to see the first of the Fallen in this show. I can't wait for it. There's that storyline I want to see. I want to see the storyline where John Constantine cures his own fucking lung cancer by getting the first of the Fallen, the devil, to cure it. I am so psyched for that shit. So psyched. Oh my god, there's so much shit. Guys, like, you don't know the fucking half of the potential that Constantine has. You feel me? The best part about Constantine is that he's not some OP super duper mystical dude like Dr. Fate, but he's pretty powerful. And he's very powerful. Like, it's crazy. They call him a petty dabbler, because he is. Honestly, he oh my god. He like, sometimes he sucks at magics, but he's so intelligent and he has such a deep understanding of the occult that it's like fucking insane. Like, he'll turn a spell around you on a fucking instant. Like, and there's an issue of Swamp Thing where he put a cigarette out on him and he somehow cut off Swamp Thing's connection to the green, which is where Swamp Thing derives a lot of his power from. So it's crazy, son. I'm like, yo, how the fuck did he just do that? He basically made Swamp Thing a bitch. Like, dude. Which is another thing. What most people don't know is John Constantine started off in Swamp Thing. He was actually he would be the dude that would sort of like educate Swamp Thing whenever Swamp Thing was dealing with something mystical or of the occult. And you know, he started off there, and then he was so popular he got his own fucking book. You know, John Constantine was basically created by Alan Moore, and I think, you know, Jamie Delano kind of like shaped him. But John Constantine, one of the best dudes ever. How could you not? But as far as episode 5 goes, episode 5 is just basically in New Orleans. People were making the ghosts of their loved ones come back to life by their guilt. They feel guilty, so guilty, because they feel like they were the ones that were responsible for their deaths. So they were bringing these people back, their ghosts. And it was thought that Papa Midnight was bringing them back, and it was unknown to Papa Midnight because he was trying to contact, he was like a medium for the spirits, so people could go talk to their loved one from beyond. You know, the spirit would inhabit Papa Midnight's body and they would talk to them. But John Constantine was telling Papa Midnight, yo, nigga, you bringing these people back? He's like, what? Something must be fucking up my magic. It can't be me. So first they started blaming the darkness, the rising darkness. Oh. But it turns out it was the people's guilt. It was the people to wrap that whole story up. You know, Jim Corrigan, you know, he helped fucking round all these people up and get their fucking ghosts to move on into the spirit, into the afterlife. What I thought was interesting is that instead of this is actually kind of funny, instead of having Jim Corrigan, the Spectre, be from Gotham, he's from, well, they didn't say he was from New Orleans, but he was working in New Orleans. But he's in fucking New Orleans instead of Gotham. So that's pretty interesting, you know. And you know, Gotham is a TV show, so I don't think they would want to do that. They don't want to cross the streams. They don't want to cross the streams. Speaking of crossing the streams, Arrow and Flash crossover, that's happening in like 2 weeks, but that's another vid. I'll talk about that shit later. Right now, we're still talking about Constantine. Fucking episode 4 was basically a full-on adaptation of the first issue of Hellblazer. It is literally an adaptation. What more? I was flabbergasted because out of all these comic book shows, none of them did a straight up adaptation of a comic book issue. None of them have. Most of them are just straight up original stories that are just based on shit. This shit was almost, this was straight up identical to the first issue of Hellblazer. Not even the first arc, the first story arc of Hellblazer. Fuck the first story arc. My nigga, it's amazing. It really is. But what happened in the fourth episode is basically a hunger demon, which was it took the shape of a swarm of locusts or flies or some kind of crazy insects. But it was one entity. Make no mistake, it was one entity. And what it was doing was it was flying inside of people and it was feeding on them. Hence their need to go and find a whole bunch of shit to eat to try it, because they were losing body mass at such an astounding rate that they were like, dude, I have to eat. And they could never replenish as much as was being taken away. So they would die, and the demon Mnemoth would fly out of them and into their next victim, and it would just keep moving. And this junkie called Gary Lester, which John Constantine knows, was the only one that was able to seal the demon in a bottle. And the only way to stop it for good was it had to be sealed within a human host, and they would have to feed each other off of each other until they both died. So it was actually a pretty touching episode, you know. Yo, why are you guys still here? Go watch fucking Constantine. Go watch it. Go watch it. So yeah, episodes 1 through 5 are all amazing. I give them all 9 out of 10s. You know, because honestly, they all have 1 or 2 things that, maybe occasionally 3 things that I didn't like about it. But I massively enjoyed it. Well, that could be due to the fact that I've been reading these bad boys. Yeah. Look at that. Look at Johnny. Yeah. It's amazing. But it could be due to the fact that I'm a comic book nerd. But honestly, I think if you sit down for 2 episodes, I always give each show the 5 episode rule. If you don't like it within 5 episodes, then you have all rights to drop that shit. 5 episodes should be more than enough time to suck me into the game. But you know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I can't force a TV show down your fucking throat. So, Homeless Jabroni, subscribe, rate, comment, and I'll see y'all motherfuckers later.